Good evening. This is CTV News for Thursday, February 5th. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Sonia Travasso. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, a Cheverly man is behind bars after allegedly threatening to shoot employees, including his wife, at the U.S. Capitol building. Officials say on Monday, 33-year-old Michael Bogslawski, a retired Army veteran, texted the threats to his wife, who then called police. Capitol Police alerted Cheverly authorities, who took Bogslawski to the hospital. The next day, he was arrested on threat charges. Cheverly residents say the Army veteran needs mental help.
He should get help and maybe get locked up to start with. He should get locked up to start with before he decides to really hurt somebody. But he should, we should give him help. I expect there are lots of veterans walking around who don't make threats, but they still need some help.
Now, authorities searched Bogoslavsky's home and found 2 loaded handguns. He's being held in jail pending trial. A veteran of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, he faces 5 years in jail if convicted. Well, it's an effort to improve public safety in Prince Georgians. Today, State's Attorney Angela Alsobrooks testified before the Senate Judicial Proceedings Committee on 2 measures. The first, Senate Bill 67, would add home invasions to the list of crimes of violence. If passed, people convicted of a home burglary will no longer be able to possess a firearm.
There are certain crimes that allow you to seek enhanced penalties. So, for example, if you commit a crime of violence in the presence of a child, then that allows a judge to sentence an additional 5 years. That's one instance. It also disallows you from possessing a firearm for a person who's been previously convicted of a crime of violence. So we certainly want to have a person who's committed a home invasion be designated as a person having committed a crime of violence.
She also testified on Bill 82, which would increase the maximum penalty for second-degree murder from 30 to 40 years.
We recently prosecuted, for example, where a young man used a knife to stab his pregnant girlfriend 90 times. Now, we couldn't prove that that particular crime was planned, but the killing was certainly intentional, and we believe that he should have been eligible for more than 30 years.
40 out of the 50 states in the country currently have penalties 30 years or more for second-degree murder convictions.
More than 100 health professionals say they'll support a new bill that would place a long-term moratorium on fracking. The measure stops short of an outright ban on the controversial natural gas extraction method, but several dozen lawmakers have signed on to the legislation, saying it would allow the state to maintain the public's confidence while more data is analyzed.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist or an engineer or a medical professional to realize that there is something very, very seriously wrong and concerning with the entire process, from the thousands of trucks that bring the water to the thousands of trucks that take the water, from the fracturing of the shale and what that does as far as seismic activity and what it does as far as leaching or finding its way to people's well water.
The evidence has shown that there are some serious concerns with the practice of fracking. This includes groundwater contamination for folks who live nearby. Wells have been contaminated. There have been reports of flammable water, miniature earthquakes, which Delegate Robinson had mentioned, cancer clusters are being reported. Air quality is being harmed from methane that's being burned off from these mines. And so there are a lot of concerns that have not been fully studied.
It's unclear whether Governor Hogan would sign the legislation if it passes. In the past, Hogan has said that he would like to move forward with hydraulic fracturing if it can be done in an environmentally safe manner. Well, Common Cause Maryland is weighing in on Governor Hogan's State of the State address. The grassroots organization says it's pleased to hear the governor promise to make campaign finance and elections a priority of his administration. Hogan says he would restore the state's Fair Campaign Finance Fund, which allows residents to check a box on their tax forms, allowing them to contribute. Common Cause says it was also pleased to hear the governor promise to reform redistricting.
And it will take time. I think it's a smart decision to start with a commission to figure out what's the right process for Maryland. States across the nation have tackled this. There's a lot of different models to look at. Let's figure out what works best for Maryland and then start to sell it here to leadership.
And Bevan Dangle says she is also hoping the governor will work to make state government more transparent.
Well, many say he was a pioneer for Prince George's, and today residents came out to pay their last respects to former County Council member Marvin Wilson. Services began at 9 this morning at the St. Joseph's Catholic Church in Largo. Wilson, who represented District 5, also served as mayor and councilman for the city of Glenarden. He passed away last week from natural causes at the age of 81. Wilson's family and friends say his legacy will live on through his work in the community.
He loved in this county was youth. He liked to see young people mature and do the things that they want to do in life and have a chance.
Just a very, very special person. Easygoing, unassuming, but would get the job done type of person. And I will truly, truly miss him.
He was a community person, and I appreciate working with him, and we're going to miss him.
And burial services were held at the Cheltenham Veterans Cemetery. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Sonia Srivastava.
And I'm Patricia Valone.